2. People. Listening activity number 1. Announcement. You will hear some news about a criminal. Listen to the recording and circle the correct answer and then answer the questions.
Here is the morning news. Last night, a man broke into the Kmart at East Street in Brighton area and got away with cash of around £8,000 and items of gold and jewellery valued at around £20,000. He is about 30 years old and of medium build. He has short blonde hair with a thin moustache. He has a round face, small eyes and big nose. He was later seen driving away from the scene in a blue two-door car. Police warn that this man could be armed and dangerous. If anyone has any information as to his whereabouts, please contact your nearest police station. I'll repeat that description. A man of 30 years old, medium build. He has short blonde hair with a thin moustache. He has a round face, small eyes and big nose. He escaped in a blue two-door car. If anyone sees him, please contact your nearest police station.
Listening activity number 2. Stephen Jay Gould. You are going to hear a talk about an important American scientist. Now listen to the talk and complete the statements below and then answer the questions. Today I'm going to tell you about Stephen Jay Gould, one of the important American scientists in the past. He worked as an evolutionary biologist at Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Mr. Gould studied fossils, the hardened remains of an animal or plant of long ago. This permitted him to better understand how different animal groups or species developed over time. Mr. Gould was a strong supporter of the evolutionary theory developed by Charles Darwin in the 1800s. Mr. Darwin argued that fossils could prove that plants and animals developed slowly over time from their earlier ancestors. Mr. Gould supported this theory. However, he and another scientist, Niles Eldredge, believed that evolution was not a slow and peaceful process. In 1972, the two men developed a new theory called punctuated equilibrium. They argued that evolution of species happened during short, fast bursts of change during longer periods of no change. During his more than 30 years at Harvard University, Mr. Gould wrote more than 20 popular books. He also wrote 300 monthly commentaries published in the magazine Natural History. Many Americans will remember him because he tried to make science popular and easy to understand. Stephen Jay Gould died at the age of 60. Listening activity number 3. Justin Dart. You will hear a talk about an American activist for the rights of disabled people. Listen to the talk and complete the statements.
Today, I'm going to tell you about another American we should remember, Justine Dart. Justine Dart was a longtime activist for the rights of disabled people. Such people are unable to see, hear, or walk because of accident or disease. Many use special chairs with wheels to move around. Diseases like multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, or polio can leave people disabled. In fact, Justine Dart was a disabled man too. He lost the use of his legs when he became infected with polio at age 18. He used a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Mr. Dart worked for more than 50 years to establish government policies to guarantee civil rights and health care for disabled people. He was considered one of the fathers of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which became law in 1990. This historic civil rights law has improved the treatment of disabled people across the country. It requires that all public buildings, transportation, and other services should be built or modernized so that disabled people can use them. Justine Dart received a great honor when President Bill Clinton awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1998. This is the highest honor given to civilians in the United States. Justine Dart died at the age of 71.
Listening activity number 3. Justine Dart. You will hear a talk about an American activist for the rights of disabled people. Listen to the talk and Listening activity number 4. William Shakespeare. You will hear a talk on William Shakespeare. Listen to the talk and complete the statements and then answer the questions. William Shakespeare, a famous English poet and dramatist, was born in April 1564. His father was a rich man whose business was making and selling leather gloves. His mother was the daughter of an important farmer in Warwickshire. He was educated at a grammar school of the town. At the end of 1582, when he was 19 years old, he married Anne Hathaway, a farmer's daughter who was some years older than him. In 1587, Shakespeare went to work in London, leaving his wife and the children at home. He soon began to act and to write plays. By 1592, he was an important member of a well-known acting company, and in 1599, the famous Globe Theatre was built on the south bank of the River Thames. It was in this theatre that most of his plays were performed. By 1603, when Queen Elizabeth I died, Shakespeare was already the leading poet and dramatist of his time. He continued to write for the next 10 years, but in 1613 he finally stopped writing and went to live in Stratford, where he died in April 1616. He was only 52 years old and was buried in the chancel of Stratford Church. Shakespeare's plays have been acted for hundreds of years, not only in England, but all over the world. Listening activity number 5. The Man Who Escaped. You will hear an announcement about 2 men wanted by the police. Listen to the recording and complete the statements and then answer the questions.
Across the whole of England this evening, hundreds of policemen are looking for the 2 men who escaped from Princeville Prison early this morning. One man is called Geoffrey Davis, and the other is called Keith Baxter. Davis is 28 years old, 1.76 meters tall, and has black curly hair and brown eyes. Baxter is 35 years old, 1.58 meters tall, and heavy-set. He is almost bald and has blue eyes. Baxter has a faint scar on his chin. Both men are wearing the thin, dark blue prison uniform. The police do not think they can stay free very long. It is very cold and only a few degrees above zero, and it is raining. If anyone sees them, please contact your nearest police station or call number 999. Now I will repeat that description of 2 men who escaped from Princeville Prison early this morning. One man is called Geoffrey Davis, and the other is called Keith Baxter. Davis is 28 years old, 1.76 meters tall, and has black curly hair and brown eyes. Baxter is 35 years old, 1.58 meters tall and heavy-set. He is almost bald and has small blue eyes. Baxter has a faint scar on his chin. Both men are wearing the thin dark blue prison uniform. If anyone sees them, please contact your nearest police station or call number 999.
Listening activity number 6. What do they look like? You will hear a conversation between Kerry and Hans. Listen to the recording and match the name of the girl with each description.
Hello, Hans. It's Carrie. I was just ringing to ask about your 2 friends. You asked of me to meet them at the airport tomorrow morning, but you forgot to tell me what they look like. How will I recognize them?
Oh, sorry, Carrie. Yes, well, they're all very different from each other. Let's start with Greta. She is 25 years old, and she is about 180 centimeters tall and quite slim. She has long blonde hair, blue eyes, and a pointed nose. She looks pretty cheerful. She usually wears a t-shirt and jeans with flat shoes.
Right. Greta has long blonde hair, blue eyes, and a pointed nose. She's quite tall and slim. She usually wears a t-shirt and jeans with flat shoes. What about the next one?
Diana is the opposite of Greta in many ways. She is 35 years old, heavy-set, and very short, about 150 centimeters. She is half Thai, half American, so she has short black hair and big blue eyes. She always has a sweet smile. She likes to wear sports clothes. It's easy to recognize them. You would like them. One more thing I forgot to mention. Greta is very short-sighted and she wears glasses.
I'll remember that. Right. Diana is heavy-set and short. She has short black hair and big blue eyes. She always wears sports clothes. Okay, I'll see them at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Carrie. Goodbye.
Bye.
Listening activity number 7. Millie Benson. You are going to hear a talk about one of the important American writers. Listen to the talk and complete the statements below and then answer the questions. Millie Benson was the one person most likely to be missed by young Americans. She wrote books for young people. The main character in each of her books is a 16-year-old girl named Nancy Drew who solved mysteries. These books were extremely popular for many years. They gave teenage girls the idea that they could do anything that boys could do. This was especially important at a time when women were struggling for equality with men. Millie Benson began writing the Nancy Drew books in 1930. She wrote 23 of the first 25 stories in the series under a false name, Carolyn Keene. This was because Miss Benson signed an agreement with her publisher promising never to make public her identity. For more than 50 years, she was never officially recognized for writing the books. This changed in 1980 during a court case against the publisher. Miss Benson was permitted to tell the world she was the true writer of the Nancy Drew series. The Nancy Drew mysteries have sold more than 200 million books in 17 languages. Millie Benson was also one of the first female newspaper reporters. She wrote for newspapers for more than 60 years. She was also a pilot and an adventurer. She made many trips to the jungles of Mexico and Central America to study archaeology. Millie Benson was 96 years old when she died. Listening activity number 8. On board. You will hear a conversation between a man and a woman. Listen to the recording and complete the statements and then indicate whether the statements are true or false.
Mike and Maria boarded the plane. Maria noticed Mike didn't look very well.
What's the matter, Mike? Are you sick?
Oh, God, I hate flying.
You're kidding. How come?
Oh, I don't know, but I really get nervous.
Have you ever had a bad experience on a plane?
No, I just keep thinking of all the things that can go wrong.
Oh, come on. Flying is the safest way to travel. Comparing to driving, it's...
I know. Look, let's talk about something else, okay? I'll be all right.
Okay. Your parents' 30th anniversary is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes, that is why we're going on this flight for...
I'm curious about your parents. What are they like?
They are just ordinary people. Dad is an electrician and he is a hard-working person. My mom is a nurse and she is kind and very patient. They met when Dad was in the hospital from an accident.
Accident? What happened to your dad?
Well, he helped his college friend repair the roof at the weekend, and then he lost his balance and slipped and fell. He was sent to a local hospital right away.
Was it serious?
Yes, he had a broken arm and 2 broken ribs, so he stayed there for about 3 months. In the hospital, he met Mom. As a matter of fact, Mom was the nurse who took care of him. Then they got married.
That is interesting.
My dad is pretty conservative, but Mom is not. They have some fantastic arguments sometimes, but they are both crazy about fishing. They fish every chance they get.
They seem a very good couple.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow you will meet them, and I'm sure you'll like them.
I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Listening activity number 9. Snooker Superstar. You will hear a talk on a snooker superstar. Listen to the recording and complete the statements and then answer the questions.
2005 was the year that Ding Junhui exploded onto the international snooker scene, and then 2006 was the year he became a legend. Ding fulfilled his potential in a nail-biting confrontation with Steve Davis in the final of the prestigious UK Championship last December. He defeated the 6-time world champion by 10 frames to 6 in a thrilling final at the Barbican Centre in York. In defeating Davis, he has already secured a place in history as he is the first player from outside the British Isles to win the UK Championship. Having won his first prize in competitive snooker at the age of 13, Ding is unquestionably a precocious talent. It seems that he has now matured into a world-class player. It was only a matter of time before he joined the world's elite, says Steve Davis. Ding's talent has been developed by his father, Ding Wenjun, who became aware of his son's remarkable abilities when he was just 8 years old. Ding Wenjun explained, "When I was playing with my friends, he was attracted by the colourful balls and would play by himself on another table for a whole day. Many years of hard work and sacrifice followed as Ding's father gave up his business and moved to Dongguan in order to find better training facilities for his son. Both father and son lived in cramped conditions, sharing a 5-square-meter room adjoining the local snooker club. However, their efforts began to pay off when Ding started to win prizes in Asian tournaments. He turned professional at the age of 16 and celebrated his 18th birthday by winning the China Open in April 2005, thrashing Stephen Hendry by 9 frames to 5. Despite his international status, Ding prefers to address his English-speaking fans through an interpreter. However, when we asked Ding how he felt about winning the UK title, he replied, "I'm feeling very well and very happy and very confident for the next tournament."
Listening activity number 10. 3 American women. You are going to hear a talk about 3 honored American women from a VOA news report. Listen to the talk and complete the statements, and then indicate whether the following statements are true or false.
For many years, Time magazine has recognized a person or persons who made important news during a year. Recently, Time named 3 American women as its Persons of the Year for 2002. One of those honored is Colleen Rowley. She works for America's Federal Bureau of Investigation. Time also honored Cynthia Cooper, an official of the communications business WorldCom Corporation. The third winner is Sharon Watkins. She formerly worked for the energy trading company Enron. These women reported serious problems or wrongdoing in the places where they work. Each woman risked her job to tell the truth. Their actions have led to congressional investigations and called for reform. Colleen Rowley wrote a letter to FBI Director Robert Mueller in May. She criticized the agency for failing to gather evidence before the September 11th terrorist attacks on the United States. Ms. Rowley told how officials at FBI headquarters had dismissed information from the agency's office in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The information concerned a French citizen, Zacharias Moussaoui. Mr. Moussaoui is now waiting to be tried in the state of Virginia. He is accused of helping plot the terrorist attacks. Ms. Rowley wrote that an FBI agent had identified Mr. Moussaoui as a terrorist threat 1 month before the attacks. The Minneapolis office asked FBI headquarters to let it seek a court order to search the suspect's property. Agents especially wanted to search his computer. Yet higher-level FBI officials dismissed their appeals. Congress and the Bush administration now are exploring ways to improve the agency's performance. Cynthia Cooper examines financial records for the WorldCom Corporation in Clinton, Mississippi. In June, Ms. Cooper told a WorldCom financial committee that the company's records were dishonest. Soon, WorldCom's chief financial officer admitted that the company earned almost $4 million less than it had reported. Since then, the amount has grown to more than $9 million. Owners of the company's stock shares have lost $3 million. WorldCom reported that it is unable to pay its debts. Sharon Watkins was a communications officer with Enron, based in Houston, Texas. In August of last year, she wrote to the company chairman, Kenneth Lay. Ms. Watkins told him about questionable financial methods at Enron. She also said the company should tell its shareholders the truth about its losses. Months later, the company began to fail. By then, Enron had lost about $1 million. The actions of Sharon Watkins and Cynthia Cooper led to criminal charges against some Enron and WorldCom officials. Congress also is considering ways to prevent companies from lying about their finances.
Listening activity number 11. Justine Henin, the world #1 tennis player. You will hear a talk on a world #1 tennis player. Listen to the talk, complete the statements, and indicate whether the statements are true or false. Justine Henin was born on June 1st, 1982. At the age of 2, a hazard made her move to Rochefort, which was only a few meters from the local tennis club, where she played tennis for the first time. At the age of 5, she spent all her summer vacation on the courts, going home from time to time for meals. By the time she was 6, and still progressing very fast, she left Rochefort Tennis Club to join Cine Tennis Club. This was her first contact with training and competition. After working with several trainers, Justine joined the French Tennis Federation. In 1997, she won the Orange Bowl, a junior championship. Soon, Justine stopped her studies and she became a full-time professional in 1999, which was also the year of her first participation at the Fed Cup with the Belgian national team. Her first step in the women's circuit was a wonderful success as she won the final of the Antwerp tournament against Sarah Pitkowski. In 2001, Justine finally made the public notice her when she was playing a semi-final in Paris and a final in Wimbledon. Thanks to high-level performances, Justine entered the list of top 10 women players. In 2003, Justine won 3 victories. The best one was with a memorable victory against Serena Williams in the Charleston final. Justine had risen to number 3 position in the world after her 3rd victory in Paris. During a fantastic American tour, Justine won 3 titles in 3 tournaments. The first one was in San Diego. She defeated Kim in the final. The second was in Toronto. She overcame Lena Krasnorovskaya in the final. And the third one was the US Open. She drew the attention of the American public by playing in the semi-finals. In more than 3 hours of unexpected twists and turns, Justine overcame not only cramps, but after she almost lost the match twice, she defeated the public favorite Jennifer Capriati. Justine Henin once again made tennis history by winning her 2nd Grand Slam tournament and by becoming the number 2 in the world, right behind her compatriot. The Belgians dominated women's tennis, and as far as Justine was concerned, she dominated New York as well as Paris. It's been said that the year 2003 was Justine's year. Winner of 2 Grand Slams and 5 other tournaments, it was logical that the champion would be the number 1 in the world by the end of the year. And, as was said, it was the morning after her victory over Jelena Dokic in Zurich that Justine was the first in the world for the first time. From January 2004 onwards, she still craved for victory. She won the 2 most important tournaments in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne, and during her tour of Australia, she was undefeated, including beating Lindsay Davenport in the semi-finals and Kim Clijsters in the final. Justine took the courageous decision to go to the Olympics in Athens without really knowing how sick she was. After a false start, she almost achieved perfection during the semi-final against Anastasia Meskina. Then, buoyed up by this incredible success, she didn't give any chance to Emilia Mauresmo in the final and won the only Belgian gold medal in Athens. "This is," she said with great emotion, "the most beautiful victory of my career." Listening activity number 12. Talking about people you admire. You are going to hear a conversation on people one admires. Listen to the recording and then complete the table and the statements. Hi, I'm conducting a survey for a lifestyle magazine, and I wonder if I could ask you a few questions.
What about?
Well, we're doing a feature on modern-day heroes, you know, people you really admire.
Oh, I see.
So, who would that be for you?
Well, I'm from China and I'm crazy about basketball, so I think the people I admire most are all basketball players. If I have to choose one, it would be Yao Ming.
And why would you choose him?
Well, I think Yao Ming is one of the best basketball players China has ever had.
So, do you admire him mainly for his basketball skills?
That's one of the reasons. Sure, he is really a talented player. Some players said Yao Ming is such a huge, talented guy, and he's the focal point of the offense, so we're just going to have to take the challenge and play against him. But there are other reasons. For one thing, Yao is one of the tallest men in the world. He is 228 centimeters tall, a very good size for basketball, and he has his own unique style.
So, he's tall, talented, and unique. Anything else?
Well, I think the other thing that makes him stand out is that he has a lot of courage. He has had to really fight hard to get to where he is today. He is one of the NBA stars, and people call him NBA Giant Yao. At present, he plays in Houston Rockets team, and he is a starting player in the team. And one of the most important things is that he loves China. You know, he is playing in America now, but he always comes back to play for China when our country needs him.
So have you ever met him?
Yes, actually, I did meet Yao Ming at the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games when they were practicing. I even got to talk with him a little.
Oh, so what did you say?
I said, "Yao Ming, can I have your autograph?" And he said, "Sure, here you are." It didn't last very long, but I'll always remember that moment. Who knows, maybe he will too.